Hey, this is Jewel Tanker from the Jewel Tanker Show on Impact Network every Saturday. Or you can check out me and my family, the Tankers, on Prime Amazon or Chatter Talk Show on Fox Soul with my girls, Dr. Dee Freeman, Monique, Eilert Mosley, Real Talk Kim, and Holly Carter. And you are watching Rude Rangers TV.
The views and opinions expressed during this program are entirely those of the show's hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of Rude Rangers Entertainment, its investors, management, advertisers, or staff. Don't sue us, y'all. We don't have any money.
Hey, my love bugs, how are you today? I am so glad that you decided to be with me on Dear Daughter. You know, a lot of you have been sending me some emails. And I got to tell you, I have been SMHing over some of the stuff you guys have been saying. And thank you so much for reaching out to me and just trusting me with, some of your hopes, dreams, and desires, and please continue to do that. You can leave your email in the comments. You can go straight to determinedwomendestiny@gmail.com, and we can discuss stuff offline. But the reason why I've been SMHing, shaking my head at some of the stuff, because you guys have been writing me things that you have the power inside of you to take care of. Listen to that inner voice. It's there for a reason. You have a built-in defense mechanism with this thing called your body and your mind. Your creator did not leave you defenseless. Did I say that right? Defenseless. That's it, defenseless. I'm sorry, vocabulary ain't working well today. But the creator didn't leave you without that. I hear so many of you say, well, something told me. Something told you? Something? It's not something. It's someone. Let's get this straight. Let's just get this straight right now. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being having a spiritual experience. So once you get your head wrapped around that, then when you hear that small, still voice, you won't act like, oh, I don't hear nothing. I'm going to do what I want to do. You will take a minute. You will stop. You will listen. You will reflect. And then you will act. Instead of just going out there acting all willy-nilly and then, hitting yourself in the head going, ugh, why did I do that? I was so stupid. Absolutely. Because 15 minutes before you decided to make the action, you were given direction and you chose not to listen. Start listening. Did you ever wonder why you have 2 ears, 1 mouth? Because you're supposed to listen a whole lot more than talk. If you shut up, and I know, listen, that's hard because I talk. All I do is talk. All I've ever done is talk. I thought my middle name was Yvonne. Shut up and sit down. That's how much I talk. I get it. But you have to put yourself in a peaceful, quiet time. They call it mindfulness now. Yeah. I'm sorry. We used to call it prayer and supplication. But new wave mindfulness. But you really need to get yourself in a position where you can sit still and just hear some things in your spirit so that the pitfalls that you've been stepping into, you won't. You have a mechanism inside that is your defense. Trust me, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, your body has been programmed to take care of itself. Example, my father, his appendix had ruptured, not burst, but it's almost the same. And when your appendix ruptures or bursts, the fluid that's inside of it is very poisonous to your body. So if in 20 to 30 minutes you die, it's instantaneous. It gets in your bloodstream. It's an infection in your bloodstream. It goes to your heart, stops it. That's it. No more. You're dead. Well, my father's body knew that his appendix was not functioning the way it was supposed to. So it made a membrane sac. Can you believe that? Out of nowhere. Just made a membrane sac to catch the fluid because it ruptured, but it was leaking. It didn't burst and go totally into his bloodstream. And if my father had went to the hospital or either to the doctor like he should, if he'd still be alive, because it wasn't until that sac totally filled, which is about 3 months later, and it went into his bloodstream, which caused him to just faint one day, rushed him to the hospital. They did emergency surgery, but unfortunately his heart couldn't take it because the infection had already hit it and had done irreversible damage. But his body knew something was going on, so it had to protect it. This body is made to protect itself. How many times have you thought, I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and immediately, like that, another thought came in, and you say, oh, you know what? I'll do this because it's better. Because it's your defense mechanism. Your creator did not make this body for you just to be falling into all these mental traps or physical traps or your body beating you up. No, you were made to be replenished. And the reason why most of us don't have that going on the way we should is what we eat. We don't exercise, don't drink enough water. We have pollution in the air. We smoke, whether it's weed or cigarettes. We put all types of stuff in this body like it's a garbage can. I'm not pointing fingers because when you point one finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. And those 3 got something to say. My 3 fingers are saying, stop overeating, stop eating sweets, drink more water. Oh, and there's 1/4 on the thumb. Get your butt up out that chair, girl, and walk. So I'm not pointing my finger. I'm just saying, what happens to be true. We are not taking care of ourselves. And we're not listening to that inner voice when it comes to taking care of ourselves, whether it's mentally or physically, financially. Remember, your finances are a direct reflection of what your spirit is like. If your spirit's out of control, your finances are going to be out of control. Oh, you say no? How much money you got in the bank? And what's your spirit like? That's on you to determine. I don't got enough time in this show to wait for you to tell me, okay? And then you're emotional. You have a 4 quadrant. You have your emotions, your intelligence, your physical, and your financial. And if all of those aren't working together, what you doing? What are you doing? Start listening to your inner voice when it comes to your emotions. How many times you've been with somebody, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but romantic is one of them, and you could hear, that voice say, leave him alone. No good for you. You sitting there in the movie theater instead of watching the movie, you looking at him like this. Because your inner voice is telling you, girl, get up and run. But we stay involved. How many times have you been with certain girlfriends and you can hear, this ain't the place for you? And sometimes it's really easy to excuse yourself. Hey guys, it's been a really good night, but I got to get up early in the morning. Or, I got to go get the kids from the sitter, or, my husband has to go to work, so I got to get back home. And then you get in your car and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that is over. Because your inner voice was telling you shouldn't have been with them anyway. But we totally ignore that inner voice like it doesn't have a right to tell us anything. Something as simple as your car tire looks a little fat. Maybe you need to go check it out. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to go to work. Okay, you get to work. And here it is, you're on your way home. Now, Mavis don't close until 6. And you're like, oh, well, I'll just go to work tomorrow. It'll be okay. And you keep riding and you keep forgetting about it. And next thing you know, you have a flat tire. You got to call into work. Hey, I'm trying to get my tire fixed. I'm going to be a little bit late. And now your boss is screaming on you. And you're like, what's your problem? I work through lunch, yada, 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 whatever. Well, the problem is she or he wanted you there at 9 o'clock to do your job. And if you would have listened to that voice, you would have had it taken care of one day after work, and you would not have had to suffer walking into the building. And now, especially if you have a female boss, she got a stank attitude. You got to deal with it all day long. You're like, she get on my nerves. She don't get on your nerves. She pays you to be there at 9 o'clock. She pays you to do a job starting at 9 o'clock. You got in at 10:30. She don't care that you're going to work 30 minutes later. You're going to work through lunch. You weren't there at 9 o'clock. But that voice told you, handle your business. And you didn't. Love bugs, we're going to have to listen harder. We're going to have to listen. We're going to have to evaluate it. And then we do the action part. We got to stop acting on impulse, because that's messing us up too. Retail therapy is nothing but impulse. I feel so bad. Let me buy some shoes. You have 457 pairs of shoes and you only wear 7. The other 450 clouding up your closet. And every time you walk in, I'm going to wear them. You haven't worn shoes for 3 years. They're out of style. You won't even donate them. You're still saying, I'm going to wear them, because you bought those shoes from a reaction because you weren't listening. Oh, I'm depressed. Let me sit down, take a moment, inhale and exhale, and let me listen to the voice inside of me on how I'm going to get over this depression and keep my money in my pocket. Did you ever think of doing that? Okay, you're angry. The one thing we all say, I'm going to let them have it. But what you letting them have? And if you keep giving it away to them, what you going to have for yourself? That's just a question. I still ain't got enough time in this show for you to answer it. So you're reacting on your anger. When we come back from break, I'm going to go back into your reaction to some stuff that doesn't have to happen if you just listen to the inner voice. So you go get you some Kool-Aid. I'm going to go get some iced tea. And I'll meet you back here in 2.2 seconds. How about that?
Next month, I'll be hosting my 7-day Bold, Fit, and Fabulous Masterclass. There, I'll be sharing tips and strategies that will allow you to begin taking the steps that you need to feel and look bold, fit, and fabulous in and out of the office. Are you ready to reclaim your time? Then visit me at thefitterwoman.com and let's get back to the business of you.
This is Jewel Tanker from the Jewel Tankard Show on Impact Network every Saturday. Or you can check out me and my family, the Tankards, on Prime Amazon, or Chatter Talk Show on Foxo with my girls, Dr. Dee Freeman, Monique, Eilert Mosley, Real Talk Kim, and Holly Carter. And you are watching Rude Rangers TV.
Of Long Island Telecom. We are your cellular superstore. We have the best in no-contract cellular on every carrier in the United States. We also do portable MiFi units, home phone service. We could beat your cable company at their own game by providing you very inexpensive TV, and we are a Sirius XM dealer as well. We can create a website for you, give you a special corporate email, and we do credit card processing. 631-833-9679.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hey, love bugs. Did you get your Kool-Aid? Okay, I got my iced tea. I had my little sip. It was really refreshing on this hot in the summer day. But before break, I was discussing with you your reaction to your anger and not sitting through it, but acting through it. I'm going to tell them off because they angered me, or sometimes we're retaliatory. Oh, they made me mad. I'm going to do this. How about sitting through your anger and just stewing without doing anything? And what I mean is, I am very, very angry. That person didn't say this to me. I am not happy about it. They shouldn't have never done it. I shouldn't have had to take it. Do that within yourself. And after about an hour of that, you won't be angry anymore. You won't be trying to get them back for anything. You won't want to make a phone call. You won't want to ride down there.com. You will have talked it out to the point where not only you, but the universe understands that you're very, very angry, that you're hurt, and you feel as though it shouldn't have happened to you. And if you sit in that spot long enough, that small, still voice will speak to you. And you'd be surprised how sometimes that voice will say back to you, you're right. They shouldn't have ever done that to you. And yeah, you're justified in your feelings being hurt. Shouldn't have been done. And basically, that's the end of it. That's the end of it. It really is. You can't take away how people feel about you. You can't take away how they talk about you, how they treat you. What you can do is show them how you want to be spoken to, treated. And if they do not act accordingly, then you don't interact with them. How many times have you been with a guy and you've heard it? I said earlier, you in the movie theater looking at him like, please. But you can literally hear all the time you're with him, gotta go, gotta go. And then you're in the relationship, you stay in the relationship, and things go awry, and your heart is ripped apart. And now you're weeping and you're crying and you're saying, how could he have treated me like this? Because you stayed. If you would have ran like you were told, none of this would have happened. I tell you, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. From the beginning of a situation with a guy, I heard in my spirit, girl, get out now. Just like that. Now, I don't know how God speaks to you or your defense mechanism speaks to you, but we're not on proper terms. It's not, I saith unto you, Yvonne, you must go with. I don't hear that. And I heard, girl, get to going. I was like, let's see what happens. Okay. And it seemed okay. No reason for any alarms. And A few things happened, and I was like, well, no, girl, go. And I used to be on assignments in my church, and that's on the altar. So if you want to get a direct touch from God, be in a ministry where you're on the altar. You see me signing, but you don't know that I am totally out of control. God is speaking to me, and I'm doing this out of sheer memory. And I'm on the altar signing a song, and God is literally telling me, this guy, you got to go. And I'm telling him, but I love him. Leave now. So I leave church, and who's the first person that called me? Him. Hi, yeah, I'm coming over. Da, 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 da. We were back and forth, 5 years. At the end of 5 years, a friend of mine said to me, I hate the person that you become with him. Can you imagine your friend that's known you since you were 14 and he was 15 and you're now 44? We're talking about over 30 years of friendship. Okay? And he doesn't like the person that you become. He said to me, when have you become the type of woman that can't speak up? I've never known you to shut up. When did you become the type of woman that would take treatment less than what she deserved? I need you to be Yvonne. And my maiden name is Poole. I need you to be Yvonne Poole. Stand up. And this friend, I really appreciate and respect his opinion of me. Like I said, we've been friends since we were teenagers. So I just came out and said, hey, listen, what are we doing here? Are we going to have a relationship or not? I know, after 5 years back and forth, this fool says to me, I can't answer you right now. I'll give you a call later. So that's number manipulation. The voice inside of me said, girl, don't you wait for that call. Get yourself together now. But I just want to see what he has to say. And his call back was, no, he didn't call me. I called him. I had to call him. And he says, well, right now, I really don't want a relationship. Okay, excuse me, sir. 5.5 years back and forth, jumping through every hoop, taking a mismanagement of my heart, my spirit, and my soul, and you don't want a relationship. Yeah, okay, whatever. But continue to call me on a regular basis because I want to be your friend. So Yvonne Poole did show up, and Yvonne said, you know what? I was supposed to be the woman in your life. I got enough friends. You can stop calling me at any time, bruh. Do you know they had the nerve to get mad? Because I no longer will go along with this game. And I sat down one day and I remembered that day in church. And I said, wow, if I would have just listened to that voice and then evaluated what it said and then acted on what that voice told me, my emotional defense mechanism was working. And I'm the one that took the switch and flipped it off. How many times have you flipped off your emotional switch because you wanted to do what you wanted to do? Listen, the word says it is better to obey than to sacrifice. I didn't write it. That book was put in place long before you and I got here. But it is better to obey than to sacrifice. Do you know that was 5 years of my life that I could have did something with it other than what I did with him? And it wasn't really that much that we were doing other than him mismanaging my heart, my spirit, and my soul. I can't get those 5 years back. I sure want to make it up for him now, but I can't get those 5 years back. All because I didn't listen to the voice. Listen to the voice. I'm in Atlanta. I've never flown out of Atlanta airport on a Monday morning. I had no idea what the red eye was like. As I'm sitting Sunday in my hotel, not really anything to do. I had already hung out with my godson and his family, and I'm just packing to go back home. And I hear in my spirit clearly, take the car back now. That was like around 8 o'clock. And I'm like, it's okay. And it was an urgent, take the car back now. Luckily for me and the guys that drive the bus, we had a good relationship over 3 days. And they was like, yeah, girl, I'll take you. And then I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there. So they took me. I went to drop my car off. They followed me. We rode around Atlanta, had a good time, went to go eat. And the next morning, as I get up to catch that 7 a.m. flight, when I tell you the airport was absolutely crazy, it took me an hour and 30 minutes just to be checked in. If I would have took that car back that morning, I would have missed that flight. And then, you have to wait for the next available flight. Well, there wouldn't have been another available flight. I wouldn't have made it back in time for work. And I had other stuff to do. Because on Mondays, I tape He Said, She Said. So I would have missed that too, because I would have been in the airport like this, waiting for another flight so I could get back home. So I have learned the hard way, but I have learned to listen to that voice that's in my inner being telling me to do stuff, because I realize that's my defense mechanism. Whether it's sometimes I'll go and eat something and literally I hear, don't eat that. What do you mean don't eat that? Don't eat that. Okay, and I don't eat it. I have arthritis, and there's a lot of things that give me inflammation. The next day I'll get up and I'm not stiff. And I'm like, oh, if I would have eaten that, inflammation would have been worse. I would have been stiff. And I wouldn't have been able to get up. And I mean, you're saying that's a small thing? It's been money. It's been money. Take money out of this account, put it in this one. And then I want you to buy this. And it was a very lucrative deal. You have to listen to that inner voice. Stop turning it off. It is your emotional and your mental and your spiritual and financial defense mechanism. That voice is there to keep you safe. It comes with the product. The product is you. Just like you buy a sewing machine, it comes with a warranty. You buy a laptop, it comes with a warranty. Me, I'm buying all this stuff. A laptop, I got a doggone microphone. I got a modulator. I'm getting ready to get a webcam. This is a very, very, very expensive, very expensive hobby. But it comes with a warranty. Your warranty is your inner voice. Start listening to it. So until next time, love bugs, hugs, smooches, kisses. I can't wait to be with you again next week.